Alright, looks like we're good. Everything's rocking and rolling. So let's get on with the stream here. Today's day 2 of us finally being able to multi-box, which is great. I didn't think I was going to be able to stream today, so I was actually planning on taking the day off. But it looks like we shouldn't actually have a problem with the streaming. Because we were able to go ahead and join our new factions for our characters, our accounts, pretty much straight away. Now, I am running into a bit of a problem here. With this being in the Caldari faction, because I just can't gain any LP from the Caldari faction, like, at all. And it's kind of causing me a problem because it seems like there's so many people doing it. I got AWOXed yesterday. I haven't been AWOXed yet on Minmatar. All the Minmatar people are just super nice, and they even try and stay out of each other's way. And so if you accidentally, like, teleport to the zone, the complex that somebody else is taking over, and then there's only like the ability for one person to get the maximum benefit from it, then everybody just leaves, right? And lets everybody else get all their resources and stuff. So it's been really kind of obnoxious to be in the Caldari faction because there's no adherence to that faction at all, right? Everybody's just out for themselves. It's basically the same problem that you saw in Dune Awakening, where a faction just doesn't matter if they're just going to let you kill each other. Like, who gives a shit, right? So, just generally a bad design choice to let something like that happen. But that's okay. We are going to gain our faction stuff here. We've got 31,000 here. We've got almost 1 million here. So we're doing pretty good already on our faction points. I'm going to go ahead and open up my stream on Twitch and YouTube because I want to be able to see what happens. Whoops. Nope, it goes there. I did some stuff to the chat. I'm trying to create my own chat copy thing. It should be fairly easy to get done. But I want to do my own, instead of using restream.io. I want to just copy the chat on my own. So we're going to see if we can't get that done. So I'm going to open these up real quick, and then we'll see when people chat in one or the other exactly what happens. Just so we know. Okay, let's keep teleporting here. And let's get ourselves into the region here. We actually need to switch these. I've got my primary account set up where local is pulled off of the edge a little bit so that I can see it when I've got them set up like this. So this one has to be over here and this one has to be over here. I did get everything fixed yesterday from the issue that I was having with damage numbers and stuff not updating properly. I guess something I should do actually is go ahead and change the values back. Let's see. The boss needs 2k hit points. And then let's go ahead and turn on that. All right. Everything's looking good. Keep moving here, chilling here. All right. Got ourselves nice and set up here. Let's go ahead and I don't really care to redeem those, I don't guess. Make money, money, make money. So yeah, so this is going to be what we're looking at for the next little while. It should take us just a couple more days, 2 or 3 more days, to get another account PLEXed. And then once we get our 3rd account PLEXed, it should only take us 2 or 3 days overall to get our 4th account PLEXed. And then by the time our primary account here needs to be re-upped, my hope is to have enough to buy a 6-month for our primary account, which should take a few days, like 6 or so days. But then hopefully I'll be able to get 6-month plexes for all 4 of the accounts. You know, like once per week, just plex an account for 6 months. And then I just won't have to worry. You know, by the end of that 6 months, if I keep building up currency and doing all that stuff, even though it's a really boring way to go about earning currency, it's an extremely effective way for, you know, an early game player while I'm waiting. You know, I just have to sit here and wait for these skills, right? There's really nothing to do about it. You're just going to be waiting. And And so in that time, I can earn as much currency as I possibly can doing this system. And by the time we get to a point where we can, you know, honest to goodness, use frigates well, we'll be doing good. But it really is just a question of in-game currency, right? The more in-game currency I can earn, the faster I can level up my accounts, the more skill injectors and stuff like that that I can use. All of that stuff just comes down to money. 100% of the time, every time, it just comes down to money. There went the first attack there. It doesn't look like... Is it just duplicating the chats over and over? Okay. So only one of them got duplicated? It's supposed to not duplicate. Hang on. Gosh darn it. Let's send that. Okay. So, Survival Hermit said things, and then Survival Hermit copied the things. From Twitch. And then it copied one of the things that was copied. And then over here we've got Survival Hermit said the things. Then for some reason... Okay, one of the chats is just broken. Because it's supposed to be boss attack damage, not boss attack health. That's pretty funny. Okay. So the way this is working is when a Twitch chat comes in, it's supposed to copy that chat over. Okay. Well, hopefully that'll fix that for that one. If it does, then we'll know that that's working. just have to see what happens. We got about 5 more minutes before another boss attack is triggered. Captain Orky. There are so many people out here in Caldari space as well. This whole situation over here in Caldari is just ass. There's virtually no reason to be trying to get the Caldari. I understand now why the Caldari LP is worth so much. It's because it's fucking impossible to get. Another person who watches the 100. Well, looks like this person's following me around. It's possible that they're just coming over here trying to get this thing, but we're gonna leave. We're gonna see if they follow me. That's another thing, is the number of people who will stream snipe me in Caldari space is significantly higher. Just because there are more people here. You know, nobody's going to want to stream snipe me if they got to go jump 30 jumps to get to me. But if I'm already right here in Caldari space, then it starts to become a much better proposition. So that might be another good reason to go ahead and go somewhere else. Maybe have 2 Amar faction and 2 not Amar faction. To Minmatar faction. There you go. Because those seem to be the 2 sort of least populated regions of space. And I could just kind of chill out there. I mean, because like here, I'm sitting at one that's contested 22%. So I'm not even going to get very good amounts of LP from this. Plus, I'm taking on significantly more risk. Plus, I mean, just in general, the Caldari space is not very good for LPing. Okay, let's see how this went this time. Let's go over to YouTube. Did we get 5 again? So boss will get another free attack. The boss did damage, which fucked it up, and then we duplicated it again. Okay, well, I don't feel like dealing with trying to figure out how this duplication thing is working. So we're going to disable these. And then we're going to disable all of the other chats here. We're just going to go back to having YouTube be the thing that does all of our chats. Okay, and then we'll go back to using restream to duplicate. I'll figure out exactly how to get this stuff switched over. I wonder if I can just use the word broadcaster for the variable. Alright, captured that one. Let's move ourselves. Got our relay mode turned on. Alright, now the bot should go ahead and relay our chats like it has been doing in the past. And I'll just work some more this evening on trying to get the chats to relay. Going the wrong way here. Perfect. On the bright side, though, the boss is doing its proper amount of damage. Everything is decrementing the way it's supposed to. We've got lots of new words that can trigger chat or can trigger attacks in chat. Which is great. Yo, what's up, Damien? How are you today? How goes life, the universe, and everything? RDs and airplanes, alright. Working for another hour and a half, pulling 10-hour days all week. Gross. Gross, gross, gross. How do you kill the boss that's attacking chat? There are commands. So there's a point system that's different than the regular Twitch chat points. It's a platform agnostic system that gives points on both YouTube and Twitch, so that both groups can play. And then you use those points. You get 50 points every 3 minutes. And then there are chat commands that trigger the chat character's attack. For 150 points, you can do a basic attack that does 10 damage. For 200 points, you can do a heal that heals 15 points of damage for chat. For For 300 points, you can do a strong attack that does 25 damage. And for 1,000 points, you can trigger an attackup buff that increases or that doubles the damage output of every chat attack for 30 minutes. But that can only be used globally by chat once every hour. And then, so the way the boss works is it's triggered off of words that are said in chat. So the boss is triggered off of words that are said in chat. So what happens is the boss will automatically attack every 10 minutes. But for every chat message that somebody puts in the chat during that 10 minutes, that auto attack is delayed by an additional 10 seconds. So if you were to, type in like 60 chat messages in 10 minutes, then it would delay the boss's attack by an additional 6 minutes before it triggered its cycle to go on another 10-minute cycle. So you would get 16 minutes between the chats. And then, so the risk of that is that there are some words that you might say within those chats that will trigger additional boss attacks. So the way this boss works is it's all about synonyms. So if you trigger a boss attack with a word, then you just have to be careful not to use any synonyms of that word, or you may trigger another boss attack. Because this is the Thesaurusaurus, is the name of this boss. All this stuff is explained also, so in the description of the YouTube video, as well as down in the cards underneath the Twitch chat, there are, some explainers and stuff that should help. And then you can type exclamation points, and that'll tell you how many points you have, if you'd like to know how many points you have. We have 50 points. I don't think I muted myself. No, I was just trying to figure out exactly what's going on with the chat. It's duplicating too many messages. All right, let's see. And disable this one. Okay. Hopefully we'll stop getting a bajillion repeated messages now. Boss will get another free attack soon. Yeah, there's 3 messages there, and there should only be the 2 from Restream Bot. Okay. I think we're better now. I think we're all good. I think I got everything put back to where it was before I started messing with shit. Oh, this person came in right before I got the freaking points. That sucks. Right, they left the region, so we're actually going to go back to that place we were at just a second ago. Because they didn't want to sit around for 20 minutes to try and take over that spot. Which is very good for us, because it'll be super quick for us to get it. We'll get ourselves some points. Gonna wait until we're about 30 kilometers away here. We'll stop this. That should give us some reaction time. There's nobody else in this system, which is great. But we still want to make sure we have reaction time in case somebody comes and tries to fuck with us. We want to be able to bounce. Now here's the problem, is I'm getting these large ones right now. Right, this was a large one. I'm only getting 6,000 loyalty points. Because of how uncontested this system is. So I really, honestly, I don't think I can do this Caldari thing. I don't think that's going to be of any value. I'm probably getting more currency from my Minmatar account right now, even though the loyalty points for Minmatar are worth way less. Maybe in the future, if I was fighting, then being Caldari could be useful. But honestly, in that case, it'd probably be better to be Galente and be running around killing the Caldari faction. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to go back to the agency and I'm going to see what it's going to take for me to leave this particular faction on this character. Do I have to wait the 24 hours or can I just straight up retire right now? You're about to retire from fighting for the Caldari state. Are you sure you wish to proceed? Yes. Cannot retire from your enlistment while piloting a ship in space. Okay. Let's go to... Looks like I can't dock at any of these. Let's just go to Jeddah then. Whoops. Am I flying out into the world? I am flying out into the world. Go back over this way. Controlling 2 accounts is hard for me. And then let's go ahead and get teleported back. And if I can get rid of this, if I can leave the Kaldari faction like immediately, then I'm going to join the Amar faction. And it's going to take me a really long time to traverse and get across into Amar space. But we're going to have to make that a priority because we really, really need to be earning, you know, some sort of decent amount of points. And I think going over into Amar space is probably just going to be the best option. And then, you know, like I said, I'll have 2 Amars and 2 Minmatars. And that way everybody will kind of be closer anyway. And then I can start. Can we please go through the fucking portal? You're right there. Go through the portal. But then we'll be right there, so later we can like all join the Angel faction or something like that. And fly around with our 4 accounts doing frigate PvP and shit. And that's definitely where I'm at, is I want to get to a point where I can just do really good frigate PvP. Get myself a nice little frigate fleet. Why are you automatically going through the freaking things, dude? This character's starting to piss me off right now. I'm telling you to jump, so when you get there, you fucking jump. Them's the rules, bruh. Alright. Let's see. Alright, we didn't get more reactions or whatever than I actually wanted, so that's good. And this one just says the messages. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. We're all set up now. I can close these out. Don't need to watch my own stream anymore. I wonder if we'll check in the next one, because we're in ISEC space now. So I should probably just be able to find a system or a station that I can go into to leave my faction. And we'll see if it starts a 24-hour countdown or if I can just quit the faction and join again. Alright, stations. Can dock. Alright. Let's do the damn thing. Okay, while we're in here, we're going to go over to faction warfare window. We're going to retire. Retire. Yes. Enlistment on hold. You have been a member of militia in the last 24 hours. Okay, so now I'm no longer... Okay, so I just have to stop this account then. For the next 24 hours. Because I'm no longer in the Caldari. But also... That's kind of annoying. Let's click the Amar here. Oh, cannot enlist. That's too low. Well, that's annoying. Alright, well, I'm taking this account back to heck, and we're just going to make this account my Minmatar account again. Or my second Minmatar account. We're just gonna fly this bad boy all the way back to heck. Make heck its base again. And then tomorrow we'll be able to run both accounts. This is becoming fairly aggravating. Fairly aggravating. We're getting it figured out, and as soon as it's all the way figured out, then it should be super easy for us to just run these complexes and make all the currency I need. And that's what it's all about. This game is all about having as much currency as possible, making as much currency as possible. Your ability to fight, your ability to reship, your ability to basically do anything in this game is based on your economy. And so as a new player, I think that what I'm doing right now is probably the best path to a good economy. Is it the most boring path to a good economy? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yo, Gravy, what's up? Dude, I went to go join Caldari for my second character for the faction warfare. Being Caldari for faction warfare sucks. Like, all the way sucks. I am a corpo hater. 100% of the time, every time. No, I fixed all the problems that we were having yesterday, though. So now when you use things, it should actually register properly. We're getting it. We're getting it. Trying to make animations yesterday and today, but then something comes up and I end up not finishing it. I mean, it's a process. It can't all be done in a single day. You gotta take your time, do a little bit here, do a little bit there, make sure you save, and however long it takes is how long it takes. I'm just really enjoying working on it. It frustrates me sometimes when I can't get things to work quite right. But so far, I haven't had any really huge issues. I mean, like I said, it's a very basic game, so I haven't had any terrible issues with getting things implemented eventually and getting things figured out. The project is getting pretty unwieldy, and I probably do need to go back in and refactor because it's 18 different actions in my streamer.bot right now, and I don't necessarily think all of them are needed. And I kind of need to refactor things a little bit so that it's a little more modular and a little more malleable, so that as I get new bosses and stuff in, we can just have like I need to create a variable that says what boss is in there. And then based on that variable, I need to be loading, certain animations and stuff like that. And then I need to make a bunch of different folders for my OBS, with lots of different bosses and stuff. I need to, or maybe just have the one boss folder and then change the media that's in those boss folders based on, what boss's name is in that variable. I don't know. We'll have to see. Oh, shit, I fucked up. Poor chat. Probably gonna die again. Auditory, what's up? Welcome to the chat, welcome to the channel. Trying and succeeding to get rich. We're multi-boxing. It should take us another couple of days. I kind of got messed up. I was, no, it's in Losec. That's where the faction war stuff takes place, but it's still pretty safe out here, especially in like the Minmatar zone, the Amar zone, and the Galente zone are fairly safe when you're doing faction warfare because, everybody is a Kaldari and everybody stays near Jita. So these other areas tend to have a lot less activity going on. The Amar Minmatar faction war has a little bit of extra people because people like to be the Angel Cartel because I guess they have the best payout, but Really did try to start it, but never got to do it. Yeah, so I'm not really doing faction warfare in a very active manner right now. I'm running around in some really fast ships with some really short align times, and I'm not actually engaging in any combat. But the thing that I like the most about the faction warfare is that if you do want to fight, and if you do feel comfortable fighting because, you know, you've got some Tech 2 weapons, maybe you've got a decent fit on a Tech 2 ship, then you can go in here and you can just fight other frigates. So if we look at this, we've got 4 different types of complex. You have scout, you have small, you have medium, and you have large. And so if you're in a combat ship and you're in a frigate and you only want to fight other frigates, then you can just go to these scout ones. So when it says Scout Navy, that means only Tech 1 frigates. If it says Scout Advanced, that means Tech 2 frigates. If it says Small Navy or Small Advanced, then it means up to destroyers, and then medium is up to cruisers, and then large is up to battleships. And then if it says Navy, it's always only Tech 1, and if it says Advanced, it's always up to Tech 2. So you have this really, really great system of being able to choose who you're fighting against and only really take even fights. Now, in these places where it says Navy, where you can only have Tech 1 ships, you can still have Tech 2 modules. So you do need to get up to a point where you can get the better modules to be able to compete. But as soon as you can get to Tech 2 modules in your Tech 1 frigate, you know, you get yourself a Firetail or whatever your... Whoops. Stop doing whatever you're doing. Turn around. Jeebus. Yeah, but as soon as you get your Tech 2 modules for your Tech 1 frigate, then you can absolutely just come over here and do your faction warfare and have fun, get in fights, only get in fights with people who are about the same. You have to use acceleration gates to get to these, so you always come in on the beacon. Smart move, you go in and just capture and move on. Yeah, just capture and move on. As soon as I get to a point where I feel more comfortable fighting, then I'll come out here in a combat frigate. And if I'm in a scout one and somebody comes, then I'll know that that person is also in a frigate. And so I'll go ahead and fight them. But for right now, I don't have Tech 2 weapons because my account's only like 21 days old. So I haven't gotten to that point yet because I tried to diversify too much when I first started. But as soon as I can actually feel like I can compete, then I'll go ahead and bring a wolf out here. And then if I'm in anything higher, right, if I'm in a small, medium, or large, and somebody warps in, then I'll just run away. Because they could potentially be in... No, I don't have any outside help. Well, so it's not that I haven't received any help. For example, my first account was PLEXed for me. Another streamer gave me 500 Plex to Plex my first account so I could get... so I could get Omega. And so that's helping me continue to use my skill points and stuff. But in an alpha account with nothing but Tech 1 ships, you could absolutely come out here and in 60 hours, you could Plex an account doing this on a brand new alpha account. Now, that only takes me about 6 days because I'm a degenerate and I play all day. But you can make, on a brand new alpha account, about 40 to 50 million ISK per hour coming out here and doing this. Which is pretty solid for a brand new person. But yeah, no, so I did get, you know, some people sent me some currencies and stuff like that, but I'm playing completely solo. I'm not in corporation or anything like that. Nobody's like out here helping me fight things off or doing anything like that. My fit is fairly inexpensive, so each one of these complexes that I take over gives me somewhere between 7 million and 20 million ISK. Why don't you do exploring? I see people make 500 mil a day on a lower skilled account. Well, I mean, I am making 500 mil a day doing this. And this is extremely scalable. So if I was doing exploring, then I could take one account out exploring. And exploring is an extremely active activity, right? You got to scan things down. You got to go beat the little mini game. You got to do a bunch of very active things. But this, literally, these complexes take 10 to 15 minutes to capture. So I have, just minutes of time where I'm just sitting here doing nothing. So on one account, I make 500 mil a day, playing 10 to 12 hours a day. But I can play as many accounts as I can plex, right? So I'm going to get 4 accounts, and then instead of making 500 mil a day, I'm going to make 2 billion a day, playing 10 to 12 hours. And this is also extremely low risk, in that I can't lose any money that I've already made. So if I was out doing exploration, then I would go out, I would find a site, I would scan it down, I would go do my hacking, I would pull out my resources, and potentially somebody could show up, blow me up, and take all the stuff I just made. Right, so I've got to traverse potentially dangerous space and risk losing any of the progress I make. But here, as soon as I capture this, the LP goes directly into my Corpo wallet because I've got 100%, I'm in a corporation of my own. So I have 100% tax on LP. So as soon as I earn any LP, it boom goes in my Corpo wallet, and this is as good as currency right here. Because I can just sell this, and I can just instant transmit this as a donation to somebody who buys LP, and then they just instant transmit me ISK. And there's no potential loss. There's no ability for me to, get blown up and somebody take my LP. There's no anything. As soon as this is active, or as soon as I get it, it's just good. Well, thank you, Aldi. I appreciate that. It's easily the most boring thing you can do in this game. I mean, there's no activity involved. I'm not accomplishing anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm not even really playing the game at this point. I'm just kind of sitting here watching timers tick down. So that is definitely a drawback to the system, but in the long run, being willing to do this really, really boring part right now is going to help me, in the future, be able to, have some more currency, have plenty of PLEXed accounts that have really, really long subscriptions. I want to buy 1 to 2 year subscriptions for my accounts so that even if I don't play, right, I could just trigger a shit ton of skills to be training, and they'll just sit there and train. So even if I take a couple months off, I come back and bam, I'm still good, learning all new skills. So yeah, I'm looking to do whatever I can to set myself up for the future right now, no matter how boring it is. Unfortunately, I fucked up by joining the Caldari faction with this account. Getting LP from the Caldari faction was ass. Because if you look, if I look in here at all the different systems, right? These are all the different systems that have stuff going on, that have, places I could go hit. And they're contested a lot. So Amar is pushing us really hard. So it's really easy to come and get lots and lots of points. When I was in Caldari, there were only like 4 systems that had complexes in them. And they had tons of people, and there were people killing their own faction so that they could get all the points instead. It was just a huge clusterfuck, so I wasn't able to get like any points in Caldari because there's just way too much shit going on over there. So I came back. I'm going to make this person another Minmatar, and then I'm going to make my other 2 characters the Amar faction. And then I'm just going to stay over here away from Jita and the Caldari space and all that. Even though the LP from these regions is worth less, it's so much easier to get so much more that I'm actually making more ISK an hour this way than I would if I was trying to do it in one of those other regions that has too many people. But I think that means that I can't join another faction right now. Open faction, selection. Yeah, enlistment on hold for 24 hours. So until tomorrow, I can't join the faction, which is sad. I wish I was a whole faction. I wish I could be my own faction. That'd be awesome. All right, let's stretch that out a little bit. Quit this account. Oh, nope, not yet. Hang on. Gotta go in here. Gotta go to select home station. Set home station. Alright, now we can quit. And we come in here, we go to display, go to full screen. Perfect. Back to just playing one account again for now. Sometimes you make mistakes and you just gotta learn. So Caldari is bad because it's too active. So you play on GeForce Now? I do play on GeForce Now, yeah. Yeah, I got a real old computer, so GeForce Now lets me do some stuff that maybe I couldn't do if I was playing on my local machine, as well as freeing up all of my local machine's resources to actually run the stream. But yeah, Caldari is just too active, so there's lots of people out there kind of in the way. Now, if you really wanted to, fight, then joining like Galente, and then going and fighting against the Caldari, because everybody starts Caldari, because they have the best ships for new players, is what the prevailing wisdom is. It's what everybody puts out there as far as like YouTube and stuff. So everybody's always saying, oh, if you're just starting out, always start Caldari. So there's lots and lots of new people in Caldari and lots of sort of low tier accounts in Caldari doing, you know, the same kind of stuff that I'm doing right now, trying to make money. And so if you like went Galente or something like that, if you wanted to go fight, then you could go fight the Caldari people. There'd probably be tons of targets. But if you're just looking to sort of ninja cap these, like I'm doing, then being down in a Mar or Minmatar space is probably your best option. What do you mean, what about the negative rep? You mean the negative rep from killing Caldari folks? So you can't go into Jita? I mean, that's, I guess, something you have to potentially consider. I don't really give a shit about Jita, so I don't really worry about it. I don't intend to do... I want to try and revive the Minmatar trade post, so I don't care to go to Jita. I'm going to try and do my industry and stuff here in the Minmatar area and sell all my stuff here. So yeah, I mean, I guess it could be a problem. If you're just doing the Amar and the Minmatar faction stuff, then you don't lose. You don't lose faction standing with the Caldari. But my Angel Cartel faction is in the shitter. Amar's in the shitter. Galente's fine. Why can't I find any Caldari in here? I must have 0 with Caldari. Yeah, my whole thing is just fuck the Caldari, though. Fuck big corporations, fuck alliances, fuck the Caldari. All the new players joining Caldari look, or end up just making the game not as good. Yeah, I just don't see, like, looking under factions, I don't see Caldari at all. It's just not here. I probably just have a totally neutral faction alignment with them. So it's just not showing up because I haven't gotten any pluses or minuses yet. Or is it the Jova Empire? I don't know. I'm still pretty new to the game. Like I said, my account's only 20-something days old. So there are some things that I just don't know. There are some things that I just don't know to look out for. Like, I don't know how hard it would be to repair my standing if I did tank it with the Caldari. Is it pretty freaking hard? But that's another reason to go out of my way to try and create a secondary option. Because that's another huge problem that is actively preventing the player base from growing. Is if it's going to be extremely difficult for me to repair my faction standing with the Caldari if I accidentally join Galente or something like that because I don't know what I'm doing, and then I just tank my Caldari faction, and then Jita's the only place where I can fucking buy anything, then, if I'm a new player and I've been playing for a month and I finally realize all this stuff, I'm just gonna fucking quit. Like, why would you keep playing if that's what happened? So the fact that you have to, like, go out of your way to spend, tens of hours researching things before you even start playing this game, and then you have to follow a very specific path or you potentially just brick yourself, is pretty ass. And so, I mean, as a player base, we can mitigate that, right? We can reinvigorate the other trade hubs in the other regions as much as possible. And if we do that, then new players won't have nearly as much of a difficult time if they, if they choose a faction based on what they think is cool instead of what the optimum strategy is. Sure, but then you have to transfer all of that stuff, and then you're just constantly hauling back and forth. And as a new player with low skills, your ability to haul and your ability to be safe while hauling is ass. I mean, you're going to have lower alignment times. You're not going to be able to use as good modules. So, I mean, it's just a really, really hard situation to be in when you're a new player. It's not a hard situation to be in for me because I have 12 hours a day to play, right? I can overcome all of these minor little inconveniences with just sheer force of time investment. But for other new players, more casual players, less skilled players, right? People who haven't spent their entire lives playing video games, they're just naturally going to have a really difficult time because the system is extremely punishing and extremely violent. I mean, sure, absolutely. You can totally pay people to haul stuff. That's fine. That's totally a viable option. And I think it's a good option for new players, for sure. Again, anything you can do to mitigate your own risk as a new player is important, which again is why I think that doing this LP stuff is 100% the best thing to do as a new player. Because brand new account, 60 hours of gameplay, and you can plex your account. So 60 hours of gameplay is 2 hours a day for a month to plex your account, which, I mean, is a lot, right? For a regular Joe, 2 hours a day is pretty much all of their playtime. And, I mean, nobody wants to do this for all of their playtime. That's boring. But if you're a more hardcore player like I am, who spends all of their time playing, then this is, not even a week. I could plex 5 accounts in a month with this one account doing this every day. And then you take that time, you spend your time getting your Omega, you plex up your account, and then, you get your planetary industry going, you get some of your, passive income streams working, and you can slowly reduce the amount of time you have to spend doing this really, really boring activity in order to maintain your income. Until eventually, honestly, I'm pretty sure with planetary industry, you can get your account to just plex itself. If you have all 3 of your characters doing good planetary industry, you need to be able to make $1 billion ISK a month off of each of them to plex your account, a little less. So, I mean, you take a couple of months, you do the really boring shit, you get your accounts up on their planetary industry, you get to where they're self-sufficient and plexing themselves, and then you do whatever the fuck you want. This also doesn't seem like it's ever going to be a thing that stops having value. Yeah, I mean, that's a great plan. If I could just go straight into planetary industry and just auto-plex my accounts that way, then I would have totally done that. But, I mean, it takes a month per character, at least, to get your planetary industry up, even just a little bit. You're probably looking more like 2 or 3 months to get them to where they make enough to plex your account. So, I mean, you're looking at 9 months of skill training to be able to just auto-plex your account, at least. Which is fine. But if that's going to be the case, then you got to put in the time doing this boring shit. And because there are activities that can get you so much more ISK per hour, doing stuff with filaments, I think is what they are, where you go and do the filaments, or getting LP and stuff by doing higher tier missions, or there's just a big variety of stuff that you can do there that make way more than 40 to 50 million ISK an hour. And so higher tier players are going to be doing those things. So us lower tier players can still just come out here and do this, no problem. Oh shit, and Gravy's got 400 points. You gotta get back at the boss, Gravy, because it's kicking y'all's ass right now. Yo, I just checked that shit yesterday. Why isn't that working? Commands. It's still exclamation strong attack, exclamation base attack. Yo, Sozu, what's up? The heal worked. Why did heal work? That sounds about right, Sozu. My mom was a high school teacher my whole life, so I remember. Base and strong attacks not working. What in the holy fuck knuckles? Decrement. Oh, I bet you I know what happened. Hang on. All right, give it a shot now. Yeah, we figured it out. I'm so smart. I wonder if it's going to be able to do both of those attacks. Oh, it did do both of them. Nice. Good job, you all. Yeah, Alditeri, if you look down below the chat screen or the stream screen, there are cards that give a an indicator or they give the rules to the game that we're developing here. But this is all stuff that I've been developing on my own. Is this little chat boss fight game. And we've got, a bunch of different attacks you can do. There are a bunch of different rules about how and when the boss attacks and what's going on. We're just trying to do some balancing and stuff right now and come up with some new types of attacks. And then eventually we'll start making new bosses, and we'll have hidden bosses that show up if certain things are said in chat, right? So there'll be like secret words that might trigger a special boss. And then we'll get some items for the bosses so that people can vote on what items they want to add that'll permanently increase. That's kind of what the attackup is, Gravy. So for 1,000 points, you can double the base attack damage value of chat, which ultimately doubles every attack's damage output for 30 minutes. But it can only be used by one person every hour. So it's got a global cooldown. So basically what I'm trying to do is, get people to work together and stuff. So somebody saves up 1,000 points and then triggers the attack up. And then everybody else can use, base attack and strong attacks with all their points for 30 minutes to do double damage. Yeah, it's just exclamation attack up is the command, Gravy. That's something I implemented yesterday, but I tested it yesterday and it was working, so. I'm very, very happy. I mean, I've only been developing this little chat game for like 6 days now, 7 days. I don't think you guys have enough points for me to waste my points for attack up yet. So attack up is 1,000 points. The strong attack is 300. So if there are enough points out there for at least 3 strong attacks and 1 weak attack, then you get your value out. Because that's an additional 1,050 points worth of damage dealt. So yeah, as long as people are being able to do at least 3 strong attacks and 1 weak attack, then you get more value out of that 1,000 points that way. Time for me to sleep. It's past midnight. Yeah, good night, Gravy. Thanks for coming and, breaking my stuff again so that I know how to fix it. I appreciate that. Always ganking Hermit, that's right. Why you gotta attack me? So mean. So freaking mean. This guy I used to play Eve with has been messaging me, and it's creepy. Sent me 3 in-game mails yesterday. Are they like creepy mails? Or are they just like, hey, come join the corporation type mails? Lonely, so lonely. One is the loneliest number that you'll ever know. Two can be as bad as one. It's the loneliest number since the number 1. Yeah, this is why I just play by myself. Because I'm a bad friend. If you send me an in-game mail saying you want to do something together, I will totally just ignore you. I got too much of my own shit to do. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there. You know, super boring. We were doing a little multi-boxing earlier, but I joined my second account to Caldari, and there's just too many fucking people over there. And it was a huge pain in the ass, so I took them out of Caldari, but now I've got to wait to be able to join them into another faction. So I'm just going to bring them back into Minmatar because there's way more ability to get faction points over here. It was so annoying to try and do it in Caldari. And then I'm going to put 2 of my accounts in Amar space. And I'll just grind out Amar and Caldari. And even though it's less ISK per point, you get a lot more points per time. So you end up making more ISK that way, I think. And I haven't gotten AWOXed. Yeah, I PLEXed another account. So I've sold about 3 million. Actually, probably closer to 4 million. And then I PLEXed the other account. So I now have 2 Omega accounts. And now I've got another 1 million that I can sell later. It's been going super well. I did make another mistake also, though. So I should have never joined the faction with my corporation, because that automatically put all of my accounts into faction warfare in that faction. And so I had to leave with my corporation and wait to join individually. So you definitely want to take your accounts as individuals so that you can diversify if you need to. Or males. I mean, sometimes you just have to be blunt with people. You don't have to be mean about it, but sometimes you just have to be blunt. Like, hey, I don't enjoy talking to you. I don't want to talk to you. And I would very much prefer that you never contact me again. Thought about joining Minmatar faction warfare, but my character can't do it. I'm negative on something that doesn't allow me to do so. Minmatar for life. Minmatar for life. That's what you get for being a dirty Caldari for so long. So I don't know anything about Eve, but this dude just posted a video 3 days ago that a ship called the Python, which there's only 76 of them in the game, was destroyed. And it might be the second biggest loss in the history of the game. Yeah, there's been a huge hubbub about that going on. Also, good job triggering the boss's attack, Damien. Just farm XP. Honestly, you're never really going to freely farm in Gal War. Yeah, no, you're not. You're definitely not. I wonder what word it was that triggered the boss's attack. If you can figure out what word it is, then you can just avoid avoid saying it's synonyms to avoid triggering more attacks. Python. Let's go look at the Python. So this is a Python right here. It's a Black Ops pirate ship. Oh no, it's not a pirate ship. It's got all the different. Okay, so it's one of those special ones. So you can't use the same words. Each word only triggers once. So whatever word you used that triggered the attack is now deleted from the list of possible triggers. And so now its synonyms will create additional attacks. So you can't just one by one go through all the words in that post. You have to one by one go through and put in synonyms to all the words in that post. Let's see. So we've got some warp scrambler and stasis web of fire, some hybrid turrets, some projectile turrets, some missiles, some energy. Oh, so this is just a do anything you want. Battleship. Goodness, look at all those bonuses. It's a really cool looking ship. Y'all are hilarious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Panther is also a cool ship. Oh yeah. That's some Minmatar action right there. That's what I'm talking about. We're definitely going to be using these later. You give up. Weak sauce, Sozu. Weak sauce. So that's the other thing that's really benefiting here, though, is y'all typed in all those messages trying to identify which word was the trigger. And because of that, you actually delayed the boss's attack. Because it does its auto attack every 10 minutes. But every time you put a message in the chat, during that 10 minutes, you delay that attack by another 10 seconds. So, going through and actually trying to figure out what the trigger is will ultimately also help you take less of this auto attack damage that's happening. It's just base attack, not basic. Damien? Good heal. good heal. Only 1,940 damage to go. Well, so it's possible, Sozu, that I missed something that's somewhat synonymous with one of those words, because I'm not I did use ChatGPT to help me identify as many synonyms as I possibly could, but that doesn't mean that between me and ChatGPT that we got every single possible synonym. So it's possible you threw out a synonym for the word that just isn't on the trigger list. Or it's possible that you threw out a synonym for the word that's also already been used, because this same word list has been being used for about 3 or 4 days now. And some of the attacks have been triggered already. So, if you used a word that's already been used in a previous day or something like that as one of the synonyms you were checking, then it's possible that you didn't trigger the attack, so you weren't able to see what was going on. Half expecting the boss to attack me for calling her in a trash can. One of these days, trash can will probably be on the list. Maybe trash can will end up being one of the words or phrases that triggers one of the special bosses. It'll be my little trash can emoji as a boss. It's actually not a bad idea is to turn each of the emojis into bosses. Torpedo specialization is 4 minutes away from completion. Then you get that deeps. I get trajectory analysis 4 in 3 days. 4 days. I'm very excited about it. I mean, 2% is huge. All right, I'll be right back in just a second or two here. I gotta go use the restroom real quick. Felicia? Who you calling Felicia? Feel like that's an insult to Felicia's. So, something else that I might consider for this boss fight game is maybe some sort of critical strike mechanic. Um, Actually, I'm almost definitely going to add a critical strike mechanic, at the very least for the chat. I don't necessarily mind just having really, really predictable numbers for the boss, but I think even just having a 2 or 3% crit chance on the player would be really cool. Allow that to go for both heals and attacks. Sure, it would generate a little hype. All right, it's captured. Go get some more points. Well, I got me a fine wife, I got me old fiddle. I'm so sad not to be running my multi-box right now. So freaking sad. I wanna be a billionaire so freaking bad. Buy up all the things I never had. I wanna be on the cover of Forbes magazine, smiling next to Oprah and the Queen. Different city every night, oh, I swear. World better prepare for when I'm a billionaire. Alright, we're probably going to have to be going to another region after this one. Another system. I think this system's going to be all played out. Lots of stuff there, but not where we want to go. %85 contested. I'll get the most value out of this one. Got a small, a medium, and an open complex. Getting that open complex would be worth a lot to me. I might zip over here and try and get on this. Just depending on how many enemies there are. Looks like everything else is kind of taken right now. Ooh, this one might be alright. 91% contested. 2 mediums, a small, and a complex. I don't know how many people are over there, but... Ooh, that's a pretty good one. Not far away with the 5 jumps, but still could be worth. Ooga. I want to go here just because of its name. Ooga. But we still got 5 minutes here. All about picking your system. The amount of LP that you can get in a given hour is very much dependent on how many other people are around, how often you have to run away, you know, how many of the complexes get taken by people who aren't you. It's really crazy how concentrated the fighting in faction warfare seems to get. Sometimes you'll go through a system and there'll be 100 people. And then you'll literally go into the system right next to that, and there'll be 3 people. And it's because the fighting just tends to condense into these really, really tight, large fights, instead of the small skirmishes that I think the developers kind of expected to have happen. Instead, everybody just like balls up and shoots at each other. It's kind of weird. Isn't that weird? Rutro Reggie. Rutro. Make money, money, make money, money, money. All right, new zone. Let's pick us a nice little something here. I think I wanted to go to this one, right? Yeah. It looks like all those zones that I had been looking at before are still there. So that tells me that nobody's over here gathering these points right now. Or at least there aren't a lot of people over there gathering those points. So I'm probably going to be able to get most, if not all of those. Which is super good. Gotta get those points. Damn, Sozu. You got all them points. Look at all them good points. I gotta make the lurk command also. I need to work on the lurk and I need to work on the crit tonight after I get off stream. So that way people can exclamation point lurk to give a health regen. And then we'll put some crits in there for the character. So that, you know, sometimes you do an extra 0.5 times damage or something like that just for grins. Oh my gosh, look at all these people. Let's go to the open complex. I bet you that's where they're at. There are so many people on my side in here, though. We're just going to try and run away and hide. If this ends up being a big fight over here. See if we can't snake some points. It's not really a big fight. We're earning points, though. My align time is pretty fast. So I think if I maybe go down below here. Maybe, we'll be okay. Oh, Candy Carp. You better run, bro. What's a Bifrost? Just to destroy. Yeah, you better run. I don't think this person is running. I mean, I don't have the ability to attack him. Somebody other than me is going to have to fight this dude. Are all of these accounts just... I mean, I guess we're still getting the countdown because we outnumber them. So I guess it's fine. I wonder what this person is doing. I hope they don't decide to just nuke me real fast. That'd be awful. Alright, get ourselves a ton of points. Let's go over to these. How many points did we get there? 23k? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So upset, I grinded faction warfare for years and never got near the amount of LP. Spent a month with alts, and each of them would have around 200k by the end of the month just plexing. I mean, except that the value of the points back then had to have been much, much higher. If you weren't getting as many of them. At least much, much higher in comparison to other activities at that same time. I think so. I used to buy hook bill plans. The hook bill is largely the same price on the market. Right, but how many years ago is this? Because if the hook bill is the same price as it was say 10 years ago, if it was the same price as it is now, yeah, so that means that the hook bill just hasn't been keeping up with inflation at all. So the buying power back then that was required to buy a hook bill was significantly more than the buying power required to buy a hook bill today. Because, I mean, 8 years ago, plexing an account, I'm sure costed significantly less than 3 billion ISK. How much to plex Eve account over time? Unless they change the amount of LP required to purchase each BP, that I haven't looked into. Yeah, I mean, let's look at About 3 billion ISK. Okay. This was from January of this year. Yeah, I honestly I can't even find really any accurate information. It looks like prices for Plex and stuff have been changing. And then the price to Omega and account and stuff have been changing over time. So, I mean, if it didn't even cost 500 Plex to Omega and account back then your buying power was significantly greater with a significantly smaller amount of ISK. So, I'm just because of the nature of the way MMO markets work and because of how good at math people are, it doesn't happen very often where an activity is drastically underperforming as far as its value, unless there's just nothing that you can get out of it that has any value. So, I mean, if you were still able to get blueprint copies and all of that stuff just like you can now, then the markets would have naturally made LP worth doing. Oh, sad for me. Bye, Dexter. I don't think staying in this system is actually going to be of any value to me at all. Go ahead and set a destination for this one. Let's get the flock out of here. Yo, there's just enemies everywhere. Jeebus. Turn around. Everywhere I go, there's people trying to kill me. And I have to run away. Turn around. Turn around, bright eyes. No! Pedro is here. ¿Por qué, Pedro? Leave me alone. Don't you dare come over here, Pedro. You stay the hell away from me. Stay the hell away from me. $1.1 million LP. Can't wait to have all 4 of my accounts doing this. It's gonna be the best. I'm gonna make so much currency every day. I'm honestly surprised that neither of these Pedro accounts are coming into my space here. Thank you for not coming to kill me yet, Pedro. I appreciate you. You're doing good works. Staying the fuck away from me. Oh shit. Chat's under 600 hit points. Oh no. We're all dead. Don't stop me now. We're having such a good time. We're having a ball. I wonder if they've been running around capturing other things. Probably going to avoid these threes here. Go get this one first, and then maybe they're already taking these threes. That would be a pretty smart move if they have two accounts. So we'll see if one of these disappears. And if so, then I'll just leave the threes for them and I'll go get these smalls. That'll probably just generally be safer for me. Should be easy peasy lemon squeezy. How many points did I get from that one? Hey, 30,000 points from that complex. That's what's up. That open complex. So good. Getting all those friggin' points. Whoops. I wasn't paying attention. Let's see. Neither of those medium threes has left yet. We're getting pretty close to about the time that that person came in on my complex, my open complex. So sometime in the next minute and a half or so, I'm expecting potentially one of these mediums to go away. Because I assume these two Pedro accounts are at it. If not, then I might get really lucky here. Wonder what this third person's up to in here. It's weird to have people around and then them not be doing. I know that they don't necessarily always have to be doing faction warfare stuff just because they're in another faction. But it's weird to have them around not doing faction warfare stuff. And it honestly doesn't seem like they're doing faction warfare stuff. I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. They like trying to start a gate camp or something? Don't know. Slow and steady wins the race. Wow. So it looks like they were just whittling them down, and then they took each of their characters and like finished them all off real quick. which is a pretty cool little way to go about that. I don't think it's probably more valuable than doing, like the solo ones and stuff, and just spreading your players out. But because I feel like that way you're going to have to move around a lot more. But it might be more secure. I mean, if you had a couple of good ships that you could fight with, and having multiple accounts kind of on the same spot could be useful. right. I think it's probably about time to go ahead and grab myself a little something to eat. A little hungry. So I'm going to let this keep running here. Take a couple of minutes, go get some food, and I'll be right back. All right, we back. Got me a little something to eat. Easy day. We are getting so many loyalty points from each of these. That last one was a small, and I got 17k from it. But the percentage of this contesting thing is very important to determining how much LP you're going to get. And being in a 90% zone is huge. Ooh, this is 76% zone. It's got all the things. We're definitely going to go here next. Which will be nice. We'll get lots of good stuff there. But we got to finish up this zone first. So we got another small. We got a scout. We'll probably get another one to spawn in the 25 or 30 minutes that it's going to take us to finish these. So we still got, you know, a half hour, 45 minutes of being in here. But I can't believe how many LP I'm getting in this region for having this 91% contested. I can't believe that it's 91% contested and there's nobody else here. I am so freaking confused right now. It's great. I love it. I'm gaining so much currency. But I am confused. Whoops. Brain fuzzed out for a minute. Wasn't paying attention. Got off track. Oh, there's people back. Oh no. Don't come kill me, Pedro. Go somewhere else. I do not want to be your friend. Maybe they're going over here to hit all these. C'est possible? Hmm. Well, they're not moving on, but they're not attacking me either. They're not coming, so maybe we'll get away with it. Bye bye. Oh no, the boss attacked again. Poor chat. Only 405 hit points left. Scorpio, you're gonna die. So, this person had started on this one, and then what, decided to go mess with me, and then they didn't even stay there. I think I was actually at the medium one. He just left to go to another region. I am thoroughly confused. But that's okay. I'll go get that one because it was only a couple of minutes left, and then I'll try and go get this small one. Let's see, we got a small. This is probably, so the other dude is here, and he'll go here, or he's here, and he'll go here. So I'll take this Scout Navy 1. Because that person with 2 accounts isn't likely going to waste their time on something where only one of their people can get the points. I know I wouldn't. This friggin' nerd came in here and spent 3.5 minutes flipping this. So now I have to spend extra time flipping it back. This person is literally ruining my life. It's ruined. Ruined. Hey, we've almost got it back down to a normal amount. And we'll just have to sit here for 10 more minutes. Won't that be dandy?